I truly had to learn how to love myself. I had to take the time to stop worrying about and being ashamed of not being the usual or not being the normal or not having the regular path or what people, my family, society expect, living up to those expectations of timing, and just kind of actually allowing myself to be who I am and not allowing the shame or the anger or the guilt of not living up to those expectations stop me from truly looking at myself and truly looking at the things that were stopping me and holding me back from being this person that I truly wanted to be. And I had to 11 down the clock. I 1:11 down the clock, sorry. I had to truly learn how to trust the timing, the divine timing of my life and of my awakening and of my goals and of the things I was accomplishing, because I truly felt at so many stages of my life so left out from being able to experience the things that it seemed like it was so easy for everyone else to experience. And I'm not trying to make myself sound like a victim or anything like that, but there is a truly deep part of myself, even going back to my childhood, is like, I wish that I could have just experienced what normal love was like. I wish I could have just experienced what having a normal family was like. I wish I could have experienced what it felt like to be truly like safe and supported. I truly wish that I had experienced what young, innocent love felt like. I truly wish I had experienced dating at a young, dating around at, my teenage years and being able to have that kind of young, innocent, playful love before, before our bodies, our sexuality, or things came into the mix, because it just something that I felt like I lacked. I just lacked the development in that stage. And I always felt like people were expecting me to be somebody that I didn't know how to be. And it took me a long time to find the courage to stop running away from that fact, from the fact that I needed to heal, that there were things about myself that needed to change, and to not allow the pain of having to, or the hurting of my pride, to stop me from truly paying attention to the things that I need to stop running away from. To really look at those things and say, you need to change this. You need to do something about it, because it's this very hurt. It's holding on to this very hurt. It's holding on to this very pain, which is stopping you from experiencing what you're so sad that you're not experiencing. you know it is your very actions that are stopping you from having the love and acceptance, and you know that you are searching for, because you keep searching for something that you're not finding out there, because what you're truly looking for is self acceptance, self love, self understanding, self acknowledgement. Because if you are staying blind to those parts of yourself that you need to be, that are painful to look at, you don't truly know yourself. You don't truly know a lot of your motives, and you are truly blind to some of your choices and some of your philosophies and some of the ways that you choose to carry yourself, and the way that you show up for yourself and the way that you show up for other people. And it's hard to look at those things. It's hard to be honest with yourself about those things, but we all have to get to a place where we can truly find ourselves, where we can truly find who we really are. And when we find who we really are, that's when we won't have to point the finger at somebody else, because once you truly know who you are, and you know what your boundaries are, and you know what you truly want and who you truly are, you will then start aligning with people who truly match who you really are. Because in the past, other people, it was so easy to say other people were the problem because, one, you weren't internally looking at yourself and realizing that the parts of yourself that you were ignoring, you were finding that very same thing. People were mirroring that back to you. That own pain, those own triggers, right? It's like having an abandonment wound. It's like as if you have an abandonment wound and then you, time after time after time, attract situations and experiences where you feel abandoned. And you're like, you can come to a state where you're like, well, I guess this is just what life is, because you don't have the self-knowledge enough, or you just, it's painful to look at. It's not just like, oh, I have an abandonment wound. It's, oh, I felt like my mother didn't love me, or, oh, my father wasn't there for me, or, I truly was abandoned, or my parents passed, or I truly don't know who I am, or I truly don't remember what my past is. Those, or neglect wounds. My parents were there, but I meant nothing to them, or I felt like I meant nothing to them. Those are hard things to look at. Those are hard truths to come to the realization about. Because you can have these wounds and be acting certain ways or reacting to certain things and not even realize what the source of that trigger is. Not even recognize it as a trigger, A lot of people get caught in the cycle of, oh, this is just who I am. Not realizing that, that they're clinging onto the mask of the person. Because this person makes them feel safe, or this person makes them feel protected, or this person, oh, I feel safer when I push people away. But if you haven't taken the time to look at yourself, maybe that looks like, oh, whatever, man, every single time I get somebody around me, they just start to get on my nerves, and they start to do this and they start to do that. And and it's really starting to stand out to me that this person is doing this and this person is doing that. And so I'm going to push them away because I'm like, it's all their fault. When really it's because underneath it, you're scared to let somebody get close to you because people that are close to you have hurt you in the past. That takes time, and that takes really looking deeply inside of yourself to get to a point where you can really see that. And it takes you healing your trauma enough, giving yourself a safe enough space to get to where you can either start working on it yourself, realizing that there's a problem, maybe even taking it to the place of getting counseling or therapy or professional help in some type of way, right? Maybe it takes somebody else from the outside saying, you have these problems, you need to work on yourself before, whatever it is, whatever it takes to get to that place where you're like, I'm really ready to look at this. It does take work, and it takes bravery, and it takes strength, not to call people who are not willing or not ready to look at that necessarily like cowards. I'm not calling that, it's hard to do that. And the longer you ignore it, the more issues that you're just packing in there that you're going to have to take out of there. And some people aren't ready. Some people are ready early. Some people are ready late. But the truth of the matter is, when it really comes down to it, there is no early and late. There is always the right time, right? Because divine timing is about when you're ready, when you're truly ready. Divine timing of something is always going to be the best timing. It's always going to be right. Even if you feel like you're not ready, there is a part of you that's telling you you're ready. Get ready. It's now. It's time. And we can put a lot of pressures on people to be ready on our schedule. Or other people can put a lot of pressures on us to be ready at their schedule. Society can say, if you've gone past this age, you're past your prime. You're over the hill. You're expired. Your value is decreasing. There is a lizard, a salamander, actually, like crawling around outside, and it is, I actually think it's a type of newt that lives around my house. It's really representational of like generational things for me. When that's a big sign for me. So it's just like, uh, this could even be, types of collective generational mindsets that we pass down, that is coming up to the surface now for all of us to heal, for all of us to look at, because what's happening on the macro reflects on the micro, right? Reflects in the micro and what's happening. So what's happening with the collective reflects in the individual person. What's happening, the story that's happening within the individual person reflects in what's going on in the collective. It's a symbiotic relationship, if I'm using that word correctly. I think that it's a type of correlation between the two. I truly believe that a lot of us are going through a period now where we really, really, really are looking at these things. When people are being forced to look at these things are coming to the light. Things are coming out of the darkness into the light, and all of this is happening so that you can heal. So just know that, right? None of it is happening to destroy your life. None of it is happening to, to tear you down. It's all happening to, although it might feel like an ass whooping, for sure. It's all happening to get you to a better and a brighter place. It's all happening to bring you to justice for yourself and to a point of transformation for your wants, for your desires, because all of us as a collective are shifting over more into what our soul truly desires. Just like we as humans are affected by like the heavenly bodies, like the planets and where they are, and those things are reflected in the changing of the greater universe as well. Yeah. I'm gonna kind of go ahead and like wrap it up here, because that was about to get like really deep on a different direction. It's not necessarily what I was wanted to talk about right now. So thank you guys for being here with me today. Thank you for listening um, to my little bit. So it's like, if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling like you don't know exactly what's going on, um, it's okay. You're not lost. We're all in the process of finding ourselves. Okay, so I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that we're going through this together, and that, we can truly be there for each other and be a collective that can come back to truly connecting with each other, right? But you got to purge first. You got to purge and get out all of the sickness, right? You got to purge and get it all out before we can take those masks off and we can come back together, you know? And I think that's kind of what we're in the process of doing now. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for your time. Okay. I hope that this message is finding you blessed and full of abundance as always. Okay. And I will see you lovelies in the next one. Okay. Bye.